It has been close to 2 years since the COVID-19 pandemic struck the country. And just as is the case in battle, there are frontline soldiers who visibly took on the enemy, but there are other players behind the scenes supporting the effort in other ways. So who are the hidden figures in the war against the COVID-19 pandemic? Tonight, in this story produced by Ben Kirui, we reveal the faces of men and women who've been vital in the command center, providing data and statistics to help guide the war against the pandemic.
This number, I must say, is going to rise.
We have suspended learning in all our education institutions with immediate effect.
The busiest time has been the month of March, April.
At the University of Nairobi's Center for Epidemiological Modeling and Analysis, a multidisciplinary team of men and women have been burning the midnight oil since the month of March 2020, crunching the COVID-19 numbers and data and making sense of them. These are the data scientists who have been key in influencing the decisions of the National Emergency Response Committee on the coronavirus. Professor Thumbi Mwangi is an associate professor in infectious disease epidemiology, Washington State University, and a co-director at this center.
Our job has been to, collect all that data that comes from the Ministry of Health and use it to predict how the future might look like.
The COVID data that we have now is tracking many things. So it's tracking the cases that are new cases that are coming to Kenya. So those are being tracked on a daily basis. And then we also have vaccination data that looks at the number of people who have been vaccinated, both partially, so one dose, and then both doses.
The process of data collection is not a walk in the park. It requires specialized training and round-the-clock dedication. Dr. Mutuno Nyamai is a data scientist at CEMA and a doctorate fellow at the University of Nairobi.
The data collection can come from various sources. It can come either from the hospitals. It can also come from data that's collected by other third parties. For example, the way mobility data is being collected by Google, where they collect it using the GPS-enabled devices, for example, your phone. That data can also be used and translated to a palatable format that can be used to make decisions.
And we can use that data ourselves to understand trends over time and make scenarios. So we sort of can estimate and say what would happen if we opened all schools, what would happen if we stopped the curfew, what would happen if you introduce movement restrictions. And those are the scenarios that we use that data to sort of, see what would it look like. And we make big assumptions sometimes, and those assumptions become much more closer to the truth, dependent on the data that you have got. So the better the data we get, the better the predictions we get.
Before the launch of the multidisciplinary center, Kenya in the earlier days of the pandemic was relying on data from different parts of the world like China. In Dr. Patrick Amot's words, the Acting Director General for Health who spoke during the official launch of CMA in June 2020, the country was able to act based on the analysis almost immediately when the team started working on data.
As more data came in, we first did not have very good data collection tools. So we had a lot of process learning our own tools and tweaking our own tools to be able to collect the appropriate data.
The luxury of not working even at night. Sometimes you need information and we have to run our models during the day and at night before we can give, what's the best science that we get out of our computers. So it's been a roller coaster basically the last 2 years since we got the first case here.
We brought our teams together to be able to quickly work and run models and put infrastructure in place for a quick and agile process of churning out this data and answering questions that are coming around COVID, the very early days. So, for example, should we close the country? If you're going to close the country, how big the country should be closed? And I remember Nderito and the team being able to map out how far can we close Nairobi without affecting the economy of the country, balancing all those different things.
With the emergence of the new Omicron variant, Concern over whether there could be an exponential rise in COVID-19 cases is growing.
What we have been experiencing the last couple of weeks, even from the time the curfew was lifted, was a relatively cool time when you don't have very many cases coming up. Hospital beds were now much more freer for other infections. What we don't know is what might become of the new COVID-19 variant, Omicron.
As the world scrambles to contain the new variant, having scientists and researchers like Professor Dhumbi, who are often hidden figures, means that the country is more safe.